Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. Counting down to pre-open, so let's see how things shape out over here. It's going to be a bad start for sure. The key is 10,276 was the Tuesday low. Overnight, we saw the US markets breaching that low. Do we do that here as well is something we'll find out. But Ashwini, a word on IT. Do you think that can be a bit of a safe haven in this market? Stocks like TCS and Infosys?
See, in a 200-point down bank Nifty or bank Nifty, you will not find any safe havens. In fact, who owns IT also? If foreigners are selling all markets, they're not going to go and buy, the IT index here. On a pullback day, obviously IT can outperform, etc. But for the day, I think everything will get hit for the first couple of hours, and then later on, maybe depending on European futures, etc., things may recover a bit. But in a downtrend, you look to sell. You don't look to buy. So look for the first pullback to occur, and maybe any 20-30 point pullback should lead to fresh shorts.
Okay. Well, we are counting down only by the seconds. That's the market opening, 0.5% lower, 10,500. But clearly it won't stop there. I'll just look at the rupee. It's opened only about 4-5 pies weaker. The dollar closed at 64.25, and now it's opening at, oh, sorry, I spoke too soon. Now it's 64.42. So there has been a 20 pies more expensive dollar just in the first tick, hovering around 64.40. That's the first rupee quote. It will come up for you. I'm just reading out from the Reuters screens. The first rupee quote is likely to find the dollar about 15-20 pies more expensive. It will take a while to get the first bond quote, but now the Nifty has expanded to a 1.5% downtick. 10,500 taken, 10,420. The Sensex is down 240, 34,170.
10,400 now on the Nifty in the pre-open, and a couple of stocks that you would want to keep an eye on. Glenmark after their numbers, and in the broader market, just keep an eye on some of these volatile stocks. Just Dial, Jain Irrigation, PC Jeweler. These are few stocks where there could be a bit of selling pressure.
Racing to 10,300.
Yes, that now is because of that 8% rate in HDFC Bank, which I don't think would happen. So still finding our feet. The Sensex is quite interesting, 175 points. I think both would take that with both hands if it's only 180 on the Sensex. But
the Sensex usually reacts a little later.
Yes, so let's see how things move from here. Reliance is down 2.5%.
Just a couple of more stocks, perhaps. Petronet LNG, after a very long time, we're seeing an absolutely flat performance on the revenues and a fall in margins. I think that's something that the street will definitely not like. So that stock is down almost about 5% in pre-opening. There are some extremely cautious comments coming in from the Glenmark management at the conference call right now, where they talk about a very tough environment in the US. And they're trying to defend their market share in several products as well. So Glenmark is one stock. Just look at that, down almost about 6.5%. On the upside, you have SAIL that's turned profitable after 10 quarters. So there's an operating profit. So SAIL is slightly in the green right now. And a couple of others like Coffee Day, Excel Crop Care, etc. are not doing too badly. But let's get a sense of what's happening in the commodity space this morning, because crude has been falling for 6 days in a row now. Manisha Gupta joins in to give us more. Hi, Manisha. Good morning.
Morning, and thank you for that, Sonia. Well, yes, the rout in the global equity markets is something that has pulled the commodity prices down as well. So, sixth day of decline for the crude oil prices. We are down by nearly 6 to 7% in this week itself. And the crude oil prices are off 9% from a 3-year highs that we saw in the late January 2018 itself. So, quite a bit of a profit taking is what we have seen come here. Apart from what's happening in the global markets, the individual fundamentals, right, like the US production at a record high, Iran statements where they have said that they are looking to increase output in the next 4 years also is something that is pulling the crude oil prices down. We're just about around that 65 mark for the Brent prices, and 60 to 61 just about holding for the US crude as well. So very sharp declines into energy space. That's exactly how the industrial metal space also is trading right now. You have the copper prices down for a third straight day. If you look at the weekly decline that we have seen in this space, copper prices are down by 3%. You have lead trading 5.5% down for this week. This is the worst weekly decline that we have seen in last 1 year come in for many of these metals. Aluminum prices are trading at a 1-year low as well. So there really is no place to hide. Almost everything in the non-ferrous space is headed for a negative week in this one right now.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Manisha. Well, let's get some F&O cues going as well. Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal is with us. Chandan, which stocks would you trade?
Yeah, good morning. I would like to go long on Bharat Forge on a small decline. The stock has seen a strong momentum on the last trading session. Longs were added and the delivery volume and trading volume was quite interesting. So remarkable data indicates the positive stance, but because of the negative opening, the stock can open down. So recommending to buy on decline near to 740, put a stop loss of 722 and expecting this stock to again head towards 780 to 785 level. Two sell ideas. One is the sell on SDFC Bank. The stock has been making lower highs from last 5 trading session. It has failed to surpass its 50-day exponential moving average and previous supports now turning as a hurdle. So multiple hurdles are visible at 19, 12, 19, 19 and even the resistance are shifting lower. So looking some weakness into the counter, one can sell with a stop loss of 1907 for the downside target towards 1825. And the one more sell that is on the UBL. The stock has broken its support trend line. It has been making lower top, lower bottom from last couple of trading session. It has slipped below 50-day exponential moving average and forming a negative price pattern below its support trend line. So more weakness could be seen. One can sell with a stop loss of 1080 and stock has potential to go down towards 1020 levels.
Okay, Chandan, thanks a lot for joining us. Those are a lot of calls coming in the F&O space. But what about the markets? For now, the market has adjusted to a downtick of 150 points. It's bad, but not as bad as what the global markets were suggesting. But let's see how things go. Talwalkar's, by the way, revenues have fallen after a long time, so down about 10% on the revenues. And that's something that the street doesn't like at all. Talwalkar's is down 4% right now. SP Tulsian of sptulsian.com joins in. Ms. Tulsian, good morning. We have plenty of earnings to react to this morning. I wanted your thoughts on Petnet LNG because you've been tracking it for so long. This time, after very long, we're seeing a flat performance on the revenues and the margins have actually fallen slightly year on year. Is that a cause of concern and what would you do with the stock now?
See, I don't think that margins have, I don't think that revenue, yes, they have been flat at about 7,800 crore. But if you take it on a sequential basis, because that's a logical way of taking a call, the other income has fell by about 60 crore. 102 crore was other income in Q2, and that has got reduced to about 41 crore in Q3. So that is the only effect. So I won't say that the revenue has fallen from 7870 to 7800 crore, because if you remove the 70 crore, then they are flat. Now coming on the profit before tax, again similar situation, 750 crore against 850 crore. So there you have seen some kind of things, making what you call pressure on margin. But I don't think that that's a cause of worry, because if you knock this off other income, I don't think that that's seen such a big thing. And 1 quarter number should not be, because we have to look to the capacity utilization at the Dahej as well as at the Kochi, what is the progress. Because even at the Dahej terminal, the company is expanding the capacity to 15 million ton. And at the Kochi also, the things have started improving. So one has to really read the management commentary, which I have not been able to. But overall, maybe just because of this fall in other income, I think the margins or maybe the revenues are looking more of a flattish kind of thing. And in fact, we will be using any kind of weakness, seen in the stock as a buying opportunity.
Okay. Morning, Mr. Tulsian. Coffee Day results looked good. Parag Milk looks very good. Are these stocks, how would you look at the results, and do you have a buy on any of these?
No, I won't be taking buy call on both, because the kind of volatility and kind of the scenario going forward, because you just can't comfort yourself with 1 quarter numbers. And I don't think that I will really be comfortable on both. But yes, taking a call on the good numbers. Brigade have posted good numbers. I'm referring the results which have been announced after the market having closed yesterday after 3:30. TV today posted good numbers. Excel Crop has posted good numbers. SKF India, MNC bearing makers, they have posted very good numbers. And maybe in the auto ancillary smaller one, Porval Auto Components have good numbers. But largely, if I say that many of results which I've tracked yesterday after the market closed, which results which have come, either seen as flat or having posted bad numbers. Amongst the bad ones, Butterfly, Healthcare Global, Glenmark, Deepak Fertilizer, Warranty, and flattish kind of numbers. I think I would take that from Trizin Technology, Indian U, GSPL, Talwalkar Transport Corporation, Stylum Industries, Haldin Glass, and Harrison Malayalam.
What about ABB? The order inflow was decent this time. 20% revenue growth was around 11% or so. Any thoughts here?
See, I have been keeping extremely positive view on this space, which includes the stocks like ABB, Siemens, CG Power, and maybe GE T&D. And GE T&D again came out with very good numbers. So yes, the order flows are trickling in, and in fact the kind of margin expansions also, but it is just a matter of valuations which you have to pick and choose. ABB is available at the EV to sales of maybe 5 times, or maybe P multiples of 45 to 54 times. So taking all this into consideration, yes, the numbers are looking good. The stock is looking good with a good prospects going ahead because of their strong presence in the T&D and electrical automation space.
Okay, Mr. Sen, thanks a lot for your time today. Of course, we'll talk to you in closing bell once we have those rates. Let's do one thing. Let's track the pre-open rates. 160 points lower is what we have, 10,416. So nowhere near, not as bad as the SGX Nifty indicated. Mid-cap index down 400 points. The Bank Nifty down 450 points. 1:15 in advance decline. Ashwini, what would be the first trade, and what's your 9-10 call?
Well, the good news is that we are not opening 250 lower, so that will give us an opportunity to get short. So the first trade is any sort of pullback, try to get short into the market. And in terms of 9-10, I think PC Jeweler is a sell with a stop of 387, target of 370.
Okay. Mitesh, has anything come into your radar now as a fresh sell or buy for that matter?
Nothing much, Lata. I think going very clearly stocks will open down. I think Vedanta is something which I would look at. I think 310 is a key trend deciding level, and most likely it will open below that. So maybe short positions can be taken there. And that apart, I think Bank Nifty is an interesting trade. I think I would, if it opens with not a very big gap down, I think maybe take a short trade immediately as with the opening tick.
Well, Indian bonds have not reacted. They are still somewhat soft. So the 10-year is 7.46. We should get that for you. That is the new 10-year. It's not crossed 7.5, and that's positive. So clearly, at the moment, at least, you don't have fresh bout of bad news from the Indian bond markets.
Well, it seems like a lot of these vulnerable pockets could be under pressure today. So real estate, case in point, Indiabulls Real Estate, DLF, Unitech, all under pressure. Bhushan Steel has had a last good couple of days, but today it's down about 4.5%. Prakash Gaba, any thoughts on what could be good shorting opportunities from some of these vulnerable names, if at all?
I think I'll be very cautious today.
Okay.
So gap down open are really reluctant days to short.
We are staring at a day when many of the Asian markets have fallen more sharply. Nikkei is down 2.5, Shanghai is down 4. Hang Seng is down 3. So at a time like this, if we open with 1.5, there will be people who, as Ashwini points out, will have space to take a short position.
For whatever it's worth, the Dow futures right now are up about quite a bit and are indicating about 200-point recovery, at least for starters. But we all know that, that's...
Oh, last time it swung so wildly.
It's a very long day, of course. You can't be sure at 10 p.m. So at 10 a.m., obviously, you don't want to take that call. But just about 3 minutes left for markets to open. So let's talk about some more numbers. Ashwini, thoughts on Glenmark? Weak numbers. Yesterday the stock was up. Do you think, and right now the top loser in the F&O space in pre-open. How would you trade it?
See, Glenmark is, dead and beaten up type stock. But today, because of the market, etc., probably everything is down. But it's a underperformer, and I think at some point it will seek lower levels closer to 500, 520. Not a buy, even if pharma goes up.
Okay. I also wanted to check with you, Ashwini, on what the base of this market could be now. I mean, has the floor of the market moved lower in the very medium term?
Well, that's what happens when you go up. The ceilings move higher. See, the floor for starters is 10,000. Now, how much below we go that time will tell. But my belief is if you buy in the zone of 9,500 to 10,000, you'll be well off for the next possible rally, because 9,500 is the 50% zone and 10,000 is the 200-day moving average. So this entire 500-point zone is a fairly strong support, and that is where buying should come back.
Okay. Well, let's just check out if how many more. Okay, we still have a minute and a half for the markets to open, and it looks like the Nifty Bank will be the weakest link, and that's not a surprise. That one is down 450, and the Sensex down 400. So 1.2% only on the Sensex. Will the banks be the first short opportunity? Prakash, would you?
I think
Any of the
banks would be shorting opportunities, of course. Only thing is, we like to see a reaction up. If we get a reaction, short the rallies. I would
So
like
you
to
don't
short the
short
gap.
ICICI at 325?
I would like to. Why not? But only thing is, I need to see a rally up there. Unless I see a rally, it will be slightly difficult. You don't want to be short and going up there. You get a short, moves up, short it again, because so far we feel that there will be downside here.
Okay, what about you, Mitesh? Specifically, would you want to short the banks since at the moment they look like the weakest link?
Yeah, I think I would. As I think it'll all depend on the first tick. If you don't open with a very big gap down, I think then I'll take an immediate short trade on the bank Nifty.
Okay. Well, just waiting for the markets to open about half a minute. Again, India Bulls, actually. Ashwini, any thoughts on India Bulls if it were to open with a 3.2 down tick, 1,270 levels?
Housing. See,
India
today
Bulls.
financials which went up yesterday are likely to get hammered because all over the world, the yields are remain subdued. So chances are even India Bulls housing should go down today.
Okay.